There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
Kaboom.
All right. YouTube, now we are on the super rare and ultra rare cards. We're only going to be discussing the cards we did not discuss that were connected to deck types. By the way, check out the pack simulator. YouTube, let's see if we get lucky. Let's go. Oh, Jesus. On the first pack, we got a hedgehog. Love it. Let's keep going. Keep going. One more. We're back to the review. Oh, my God. There goes my... Oh, yes. Love it. Nitro Warrior. And then you can also reset the box, and we'll still count your gems spent. Nice. Very cool. Great feature. Okay, now, let's talk about Mobius. Oh my Jesus, Mobius. The Monarchs are finally, they're almost complete. If you type in Duel Links, the meta, let's see, Monarch, what are we missing? We have everything up to here. So everything, but look how much Monarch support we don't have. That's insane. We've barely scratched the surface of Monarch, so I'm definitely excited as they release more. But we finally got Mobius. That is a top tier Monarch. I topped a big tournament with Monarchs. My deck was pretty much, I think, like literally 20 Monarchs and then Reborn Frogs. That's all the deck did. Now, Mobius. When this card is tribute summoned, you could target up to 2 spell and trap cards on the field, destroy those targets. Dkayed, how do I build a Monarch deck? I got you. Let's go to duellinksmeta.com. Let's go to top decks. In the last 2 weeks, for some reason, there's 3 Monarch decks, and they're all using the same skill. They're all built quite similarly. Let's just look at the latest one. Zeppelin, playing Labyrinth Builder, shuffle 2 cards in the hand, back in the deck, special summon a Labyrinth Wall to then tribute for a Monarch. Also playing Undyne and Swap Frog to send Reborn to the graveyard. Also with Soul Exchange and Econ, it's lit. Let's take out the Stalos and let's add in Mobius. There you go. The deck is pretty much done. That's gonna make the deck better. I definitely think so. Excited for that. Let's move on to another card. Let's hop to Perry Knight. Perry Knight is what a lot of people are calling mini Gores. Gores is such a signature card in the TCG. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it does, but if you take a direct attack, you pretty much lose. It summons on the field, it summons a token, it's crazy. So in contrast, people are calling this a mini Gores. When you take battle damage from an opponent's attack, your opponent has to be attacking, you could special summon this card from your hand. Then you could special summon a monster from your hand with less attack or equal to the damage you took. So you might want to play this in your Monarch deck maybe for tribute summoning. That might be a good idea. Who knows? Let's move on. Let's go back to this card. Herald of the Abyss, ultra rare. Pay 1,500 life, declare a monster type and attribute. Your opponent must send that to the graveyard. And then for the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate the effects of that monster that was sent to the graveyard. So I'm thinking this is a counter to Yubel. You declare Fiend and Dark. They send their Terra Incarnate to the graveyard. Hopefully they don't have another card in the field. And then, they probably won't because it destroys everything in the end phase. And then it won't activate to summon Ultimate Nightmare because that's what the card says, cannot activate. Moving on, we have Shuffle Reborn. Shuffle Reborn. I'm quite excited for this card. What's great about this is it special summons a monster from the graveyard. Then immediately you could target any card you control. Back row, monster, shuffle it back in the deck, and then draw a card. So you could reuse like a continuous card, maybe like Powerful Rebirth, and maybe you want to draw into a specific out. You draw right away. Now, the bad part is you have to control no monsters to use it to summon a monster from the grave. It has no level requirement, by the way, so that's great. So no monster on the field. Also, you have to banish the monster during the end phase. So you have to do something with the monster that turn. You can attack with it. You could synchro summon with it. You could use it with Ultra Athletes to return back to the hand, so that's great. And also, if you use the draw card effect by shuffling a card back in the deck, you must banish a card in the end phase from your hand. So you could potentially banish like a Giant Rex. Might be a good idea. Or just be happy that you were able to draw a card. Or you could just make sure you have no cards in your hand and then not banish anything in the end phase. It's cool. It's very comparable to Living Fossil. So if you remember everything I just said about Shuffle Reborn, this card, you could use this even if you have a monster in the field. This is only level 4 or lower, and it does not banish the monster in the end phase, but it does reduce the monster attack by 1,000, and it must be level 4 or lower. I like Shuffle Reborn better. They both negate the monster's effect on the field. Now, quick tip. I'm not sure I mentioned this in a review. If you Shuffle Reborn onto your Quick Draw Synchron, negating Quick Draw Synchron's effect, it still has the effect to substitute as a Synchron monster for any Synchron Synchro. So that's a cool combo with Shuffle Reborn, potentially. Let's move on. We have Stardust Charge Warrior. This is lit. Love it. Do never underestimate a card that draws, and this card draws on summon, so even better. Also 1300 defense, so pesky Canadia flipping it down. Canadia not big enough to take it out. And what's great to do with this card is you're going to summon it with Wielder or Palika. Those are two easy ways to summon a level 6 Synchro. Palika has a restriction though. It has to be a Wind Synchro, and he's a Wind Synchro. So Palika, target a level 3 tuner in the graveyard, easy Synchro Shokan, and then we all know how great Wielder is. Wielder, if you control a level 3, special summon, Synchro Shokan, destroy a monster on the field that is less attack than the monster summoned. And then also with Tracker, you could boost up his attack to 600. Also special summon on the field if you control level 3. Love it. Also, its other effect is, you're probably never going to really use this, but you could attack all special summon monsters your opponent controls once each. So if they have a full field of special summon, attack, attack, attack. Moving on, we have Red Sparrow Summoner. When this card you control is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster, you cannot attack and get destroyed. They must attack into you. You could special summon a warrior type monster with 1500 less attack from your deck in attack position. I think someone in the Twitch chat said that a good idea is maybe summon Princess, but like, come on, they're never going to attack and destroy it, right? I mean, they have to at one point. And with Reactor Dragon running around, her effect will probably just be negated. So, all right, moving on. Burial from a Different Dimension. This is interesting. Target up to 3 banished monsters, return them to the graveyard. So quickly, if I look at top decks, what can we do with this? We could use it with Lavels. With Lavels, we could return our Lakeside Lady from the banish pile back in the graveyard to re-destroy another set card on the field. What else can we use it with? We could use it with Madolches. When our Dark Verger is banished by Madolche Hoot Cake, we could return it back to the grave. Hoot Cake! We could also, with Vampires, we could not shuffle, but just put the vampire that's banished back into the graveyard after using it. Otherwise, I don't really think it's that great, but it could be used a little bit in a few decks. Moving on. By the way, it was used in top tier decks. I used it myself, I think in Lightsworn. Moving on, we have Concentrating Current. Target a face-up monster you control. It gains attack equal to its current defense, but other monsters you control cannot attack during the turn you activate this card. Use this in the damage step and use it on Reactor Dragon. Reactor Dragon goes to 6,000 attack, 6,000, or if you are feeling spicy, you could use it on Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, and he goes to 7,800 attack and has piercing damage. Otherwise, with Reactor Dragon, you're going to want to tribute your Wyvern to get the Pierce. It's crazy. It also can be used on your Nitro Warrior. Nitro Warrior goes up to 5,600 attack. That's crazy. The final super rare ultra rare card is Necro Fusion. Fusion summon 1 fusion from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your graveyard face down, but it cannot attack this turn. Who cares? Summon it on their turn. Think of any favorite fusion you have, and you now get to summon it much more easier with Necro Fusion. So maybe Ojamas could summon it very easily, might have a surprise Ojama King. This is still difficult to summon, but easier to summon is Ojama Knight. It's any 2 Ojamas. Surprise Ojama Knight is always nice. Also, maybe Red Eyes / Dragon. With Insight, you get to send a Red Eyes from the deck to the grave, and then you could use the Necro Fusion to summon a Red Eyes / Dragon. But I think one of our favorite ideas with Necro Fusion is to, get ready, Roids! We're gonna use it with Super Barbaroid. Let's see what he does. Barbaroid, the ultimate battle machine. It's in this box. 5 Roids in the graveyard. Banish them to summon this 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense. If it destroys a monster by battle, deal 1,000 damage. And it can perform a second attack during each battle phase. It cannot attack directly though. And after damage calculation, if this card attacked an opponent's monster, negate the effects of that monster, including in the graveyard. So for example, Madolche's negated. That is nuts. On the topic of Roids, we could also use a Mergeroid Call. So now we're transitioning into the other rare / normal cards. A Mergeroid Call. When a spell / trap or monster effect is activated and you control a Roid Fusion, which is Barbaroid, negate the activation, and then they have to send all cards with the same name from their deck or extra to the graveyard. You could also banish this card from the graveyard to target a Roid monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Nice. You could search for this, by the way. You could search for it with the Roid field spell, Mega Roid City. Destroy a card you control, then search your deck for a Roid card. There you go, search the trap or search for a Roid monster to help Fusion Shokan. Or, during damage calculation with the Roid, you could send a Roid from your deck to the graveyard to reverse the attack and defense of your battling Roid monster. That's a great way to fill the grave for your Barbaroid to use your Necro Fusion. Another way to help fill up the grave for your Necro Fusion in your Roid deck is Mixroid. Mixroid, you could tribute a machine type monster, which could be itself. Special summon a non-wind Roid from your deck. That is quite lit. Now, it has another effect where you could pay half your life, banish itself, and any number of machine type monsters from your graveyard, including this card. Special summon from your extra deck 1 Roid Fusion equal to the amount of monsters you banished, its level. So if you banish 9 Roids or 9 machine monsters, you could summon a level 9 Fusion, but then it's destroyed during the end phase. Not that good. What else is worth it? Oh boy, are you ready? The ultimate ancient gear counter. The ultimate ancient gear counter, Mana Spring. This is a gem. Sometimes there's gems in the rares and common cards. Magic Spring. You're gonna see a quick demonstration of this card in action, but before you do so, let me tell you what this card does. Draw a number of cards equal to the number of face-up spell and trap cards your opponent controls, then discard a number of cards equal to the amount of face-up spell and trap cards you control. I know it's confusing, so ready? If they have a face-up castle, okay? Face-up castle, they start with it. You could now use your card right away. And when you use your Magical Spring, you're gonna draw 1 card because they have 1 face-up card. You're gonna discard 1 card because you have 1 face-up card, which is Magical Spring. But then, until the end of your opponent's next turn, which means if you use this on your opponent's turn, it will affect that turn and their next turn. So 2 turns, spell / trap cards your opponent controls cannot be destroyed. Their Gear Town can't be destroyed for 2 turns, and you get to draw cards. So if they activate a card like Galaxy Cyclone, you chain it. And now Galaxy Cyclone counts as being face up and counts as an extra draw. So with face up Castle, face up Galaxy Cyclone, draw 2, discard 1, and then for 2 turns, he cannot destroy his, or she cannot destroy their Gear Town. So next turn, they're gonna attempt to banish Galaxy Cyclone to destroy Gear Town. Nope, can't do it. So let's draw out the rest of our deck. This is the card we are talking about, Magical Spring. Is there any way to, can I move this anywhere? So Magical Spring is the card. So we're gonna have a face-up, my opponent has Magical Spring, by the way. We start with Castle. I want to, and then maybe we play Fortress because we're about to do a big play. We play Fortress, and we set our Gear Town. We activate Galaxy Cyclone onto our Gear Town, all right? Now, they chain Magical Spring. They're gonna draw 3 cards. 3 cards! They're drawing 3 cards, discarding 1, and my Galaxy Cyclone does nothing now. Okay, it does nothing. So that's turn 1. I end my turn. He goes, he's got 3 new cards. He had to discard 1. He ends his turn. Now it's my turn. I go, all right, buddy. I activate my Gear Town. I banish my Galaxy Cyclone. Destroy Gear Town. Nope. It won't destroy it because the magical spring from last turn is still protecting Gear Town. That's crazy. So there you go. That is the demonstration of magical spring countering ancient gears. And it's the same thing with Breaker. If I activate, it's less devastating with Breaker because it's not a face-up spell or trap. So if you want to break your field spell and maybe there's only a face-up castle, they will only be able to spring for 1 card, and then your Breaker will lose a counter and will not destroy the field spell though. So there you go. Magical Spring. If this becomes popular, people are gonna have to play around it. We have some Allied Justice cards. Allied Justice, Decisive Armor. This is just an anti-light card. Now, what else do we have? If that wasn't enough, you also get to play Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. During either player's turn, you could discard this card to target up to 2 light monsters in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. And that is it. That's it for the box. I'll be playing it on Monday or Tuesday. Super excited. I hope you enjoyed the review. Make sure you give me good constructive criticism on what you like or didn't like, or anything you think I missed, or you want to discuss something in the comments. Love you all. Thank you. Like, subscribe, donate, all that. Appreciate you. Dkayed Brigade out.